Hi, this is Taraj, and today I want to talk about Zillow and the different listing types, mainly the foreclosures and foreclosed. So there's two different types there, and also pre-foreclosures and what that all means. So I'm just going to do a regular home search here. Okay, and when I do a search of the area, what I've done, and you'll see these two little dots up here, I'm looking at everything. The red dots are for sale currently on the market or even coming soon, and right now nobody seems to be using that much here, but it will start to be worked with. The other one is potential listings. So the blue dots, that means you have potential listings on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck all of the for sales, and so I can show you closely what this foreclosed means versus up here where it says foreclosures. And also let's talk about a pre-foreclosure. So first of all, a pre-foreclosure, and I'm going to get one up here. So I just pressed one of the pre-foreclosures, and that's all I have here, and then picked one. And if I go down on the side here, it's going to show me all the details about the home, where it is. So a pre-foreclosure just basically means that the person has defaulted on their loan, and so now they are being served notices on a regular basis until it goes into actual foreclosure. If you've noticed here, this is since 2013. So right now we're in August of 2014. That's quite a ways along, and they should be filing foreclosure here very soon on that particular one. So until then, it just sits in the pre-foreclosure phase. There's nothing really that we can do other than watch it. We, meaning you or I, even as a professional. There's nothing I can do about it other than just watch it to see if it does go into foreclosure. The only opportunity we would have to actually purchase it or help you purchase it would be if it did go into this for sale area, which would mean that it would actually go through foreclosure, which would be this part of it, and its waiting period. So let me go back for 1 second and mention something. With a pre-foreclosure, when the home is in default, once we actually see it go beyond potential or pre-foreclosure into this category right here, which is foreclosed, that period is about 120 to 180 days it takes to go from this pre-foreclosure to foreclosure. And during that time period, the person living in the house or the owner is being given notice that the house will be foreclosed and given the right to try and come to some sort of an agreement with the lender. After it goes into a foreclosed state, it then sometimes... Okay, so here is a foreclosed home. And I just picked up one of the, let's see, I went to potential listings and then foreclosed to show you what the difference is. So here, this one was just done this month, or last month, excuse me. And the lender has taken the ownership of the property through the auction, and it says here that it's not available yet. Here it is, for sale as a foreclosure property in the future, may be listed as a for sale. So just watch those notes, the foreclosure information notes. You'll also notice that when you're at the top of the information for the property, you will notice that you're only seeing like data as far as like the public information or the public records are going to have for you, the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, address, that kind of thing. And it gives you a foreclosure estimate, but it doesn't give, and a zestimate, but it doesn't give you the actual sales price. So that's going to be the main difference there. The other thing you don't have on this site here or on this anywhere is a MLS number. But when in doubt, if you have a question about a property, whether it's a potential listing or a for sale listing, feel free to just contact me. Email me the address and I will find out all the detailed information, including when the foreclosure will be, because that's actually public record, as well as if it's a pre-foreclosure, if it's gone from pre-foreclosure into foreclosed, I can usually guesstimate about the time period it'll take to put it back on the market again. Generally, that's about 180 days. Sometimes it's a little less, and in which case there's some red flags to look for. But if it's around 180 days from the time that they actually foreclosed on the property this year, then generally you're going to be starting to see it come back up very soon. So it's time to keep an eye on it. The reason that there's that 180-day time period is it's a right of redemption time period in which the previous owner has the right to purchase the property back again from it being foreclosed on and sold off at auction. So keep that in mind. One more side note to say about that. If you're noticing that this date when it was foreclosed is like years ago, I think I had one previously that was 2012, that says to me that something is going on with it. Usually it's something was wrong with the initial foreclosing of the property, and they've had to go back, the lenders have had to go back and through the court system to correct the paperwork, and who knows when it's going to come back on. It just is a matter of when the attorneys get off their rear ends and go and take care of it, or when it's all straightened out in court. Who knows? Court systems. Now we're going to jump over to the for sales, and I'm going to just select one of the foreclosures. So here's what I've done. I just chose a for sale and then a foreclosure. So one of these, and I'm just going to pick one and see what we get here. Okay, I'm glad this one came up. So this is one where it's supposed to be for sale. It says foreclosure. It gives you a price, a foreclosure price, but it says it's an estimate, and then it says price unknown. This is still in the for sale area. However, it's not giving you the actual list price. It will give you some MLS number, and usually it starts with 145. And then if you see it, Real Home Services and Solutions, this is actually an online auction situation. And so definitely, if you see one of these that you're interested in taking a look at, call me. I can show it to you. You can't go and see it by yourself. You have to have an agent to go and show you. And you have to have an agent in order to get onto the auction site as well. So because this is a bank-owned foreclosure and they're starting to do this by auction online now, you will need somebody to do that for you, similar to a HUD home, if you're familiar with HUD homes. So that one is a foreclosure, but it doesn't have the list price, but it does have an MLS number. And yeah, so anyway, just ask me. I can give you all the additional information on that property if that kind of thing comes up. Now, if we choose another one, hopefully it won't be the same situation. We'll get a different situation here. Yes, okay. All right, this looks like it might be a different one. Yes, it is. Okay, so this one is different because it's actually been put on our SOMLS, which is the Southern Oregon Multiple Listing Service, and that's where all of these big sites, including Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and all of the agent websites get their information directly from the MLS. So here's another little tip for you. If you want to be connected directly to the MLS and avoid all this chaos of knowing what's going on and what's not going on, and many times Zillow will post things that are incorrect or outdated, let me know and I'll give you the backdoor, pass to the MLS, and that just takes setting you up on the MLS in the back, what's called a client portal, and you'll get notified the minute something new comes on the market in your criteria, and that is accurate information because it's from the horse's mouth. So on this one in particular, this is a fully listed foreclosed property, which means it's bank owned. You'll also hear that term. Bank owned means that they have gone through the foreclosure process, the bank has taken it back again, and they're trying to sell it to get the profit from it. Okay, so this tells you again, the whole, here's nicely, you can see it laid out right here. Loan issues, home defaulted on, then there was a foreclosure, and now it's listed back on by the bank. If you notice here, oh, this is a great situation for me to point out to you. This is a red flag, what I call a red flag in my world. 15 years in the business, and you learn to look for these things. This has only been a month since they listed it again. So one of a couple things can happen. If they relisted it again, without going through what the redemption time period, they could end up in, after you make an offer on the home, you could end up in escrow and then have it rejected entirely because really the seller, or which is the bank, would not have full complete title to it unencumbered, meaning the previous owner would still have the right to purchase the property back again during that time period. Mainly, you want to look for this time period between these two to be past that 180-day mark. And if it's not past the 180-day mark, ask your agent. Always ask your agent if they have done a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which means that the person gave them a waiver of that redemption time period, and so nobody has to wait for that redemption time period. Another red flag about foreclosures in general, many times they were filed incorrectly. You'll actually get into escrow purchasing one and find out that the bank doesn't really actually own the property yet. So one of the things that your agent will do for you, and you'll want to make sure that they do for you, is to ask them to make sure that on the preliminary title report, it actually has the bank's name and not the previous owner's name. That's a big thing and can cause your when you're purchasing, you can be out your inspection money and your appraisal money and then find out the home isn't even owned by the bank that's selling it. So that can be an issue and something to look out for foreclosures, as well as the situation with the redemption, right of redemption. So watch for that. But if it's listed on here, has an MLS number, it's fair game, it's up for sale, unless something happens and there's multiple offers or something. But still, I would always say, because the multiple offers don't show up on Zillow, it's only in the MLS that they show up. Ask your real estate agent. I'm glad to help you anytime. You can text me, you can email me, call me with an address, and I will find out all the detailed information, including what's going on with it in the MLS and all the agent-only remarks that you would need to know. All right, so if you have any other questions, please let me know. I know I've rambled on for a long time. I'll do another video on some of the other types of properties on Zillow and some of the other things to look for and red flags soon. All right, and if you have questions on wanting me to do a particular video, please feel free to reply at the bottom or make comments at the bottom and add your own personal questions, and I'll do a video on that. Thanks so much. Have a great day.